Howdy, y'all. On Theology Matters, take 3 of today, and technically 3 other versions of this video have been made. I'm sorry if this video be long. It's kind of thick-ish. I'm also stammering a bit, but good stammering, you know? And that's Maggie. She's a dog. So anyways, we're going to get into this. So I'm posting very late of this video, mainly because, as I said before, I did other takes of this because software failed. The camera, right? I was streaming in 1080, which it can only do in 720. So the more you know. I just wish it didn't take me, a week to figure this out. So anyways, so I'm very late. Because the video we're going to talk about is Trump's pro-life stance, and I'm doing it 2 days before the election. And 2 days is being very gracious because it's basically Monday and then election time. So I've already voted for Trump, and I say that, one, because people are going to think that I am not voting for him. No, I'm voting for him. Not necessarily I'm voting for it more like I did, but you get where I'm going. So anyways, we're going to talk about these 4 points that he wrote. So after the VP debate when Vance was going after Walz, he released this tweet. And yeah, this is a very mute pro-life point or pro-life view. So we're going to go into it real quick because this is very much of a moderate stance. But the problem is that if you actually understand the issue, this stance dies. Number 2 is probably interesting to me. I'm gonna have, funny enough, have another video about that soon. I have to wait until after all elections go on because I need the House, the Senate, the presidential, assuming I'm not getting enlisted to Ukraine or Israel. If that happens. But as I tell my family, I'll chop off my left leg before that happens. Mainly because I kick mostly with my right. So anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. And in the States, I need to, because like Amendment 4 in California, because it is about abortion again. I hate that I keep making videos of abortion. It's just what comes up on the slate. I have like 3 or 4 others that are in the back burner. I just haven't sat down and write them because I keep seeing things currently. And anyways, so we're going to go through this. I don't think there's anything more I should say other than new logo and new software with Restream, hence why I had technical issues. So we're going to go. We're 3 minutes in. So we're going to start with number 1. So number 1 is I would not support a federal abortion ban. So my roadmap only has 1 point. Good for y'all. Why not? Because I'll tell you, if it was the reverse, the abortion ban, as you can tell, I've done this multiple times, so I have a word for the anti-abortion ban. There's too many, negativity in that. I'm sure there's got to be a word, but the abortion ban, right? Like, if the Democrats had a chance, they would make a abortion allowance, I guess. That might be better. It has alliteration. That makes it 10 times better. Anyways, grammar Nazi. Here, it really is, like, to quote Paul Joseph Watson, it really is that it's okay when we do it because let's be clear, they would. You know how I know? This is what happened. This is what Joe Biden did right after Roe got.
We have to codify Roe v. Wade in the law, and the way to do that is to make sure the Congress votes to do that. And if the filibuster gets in the way, it's like voting rights. It should be. We provide an exception for this. Require an exception to the filibuster.
Yeah, which I think is very funny that they talk about the Civil Rights Act when they were the anti-black party, which you wouldn't know that now if based on today's numbers. But yeah, now so they were going to codify Roe, which basically meant they were going to bring it back. It was not going to be they didn't care kind of what the court was going to say. And the court said basically, Roe is dead. It's up to now the states. And now, as I say, I kind of wish Roe I'm glad it succeeded. At the same point, I also realize we have a tougher battle now because it's not just one battle, it's 50. But fortunately, you'll see later, we got about a dozen or so battles that are victorious. Now, whether or not it stays that way is kind of up to the men in the, and by that I mean capital M men, not just men as in like bio men. So yeah, anyways, so we also have Kamala and Waltz, their plan. They If they could restore the reproductive freedoms, they would. So, this is where you get into the point of, well, what if we restrict so-called reproductive freedoms? Well, you can't do that, but she can restore them. But then it also says restore, so that's also admitting to that reproductive freedom or reproductive rights is a thing, right? So, one, you've got to go through that. But anyways, but I also think it's very funny because one, in this it says not have the power to tell the government what to do. Says Waltz, who literally set up like a snitching ring during COVID times, and everyone basically told you get vaccinated, and then Trump handpicking members. Again, I don't necessarily credit him with its death because it was on the justices to do their justicing, right? Or judging or legislating. No, legalism, whatever word I need to say. He might have put in women or women and men who were probably going to be choosy in one demeanor, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they would. Like, for crying out loud, 2020 happened with the problems, right? The election issues, and those justices flipped on him. So you can't really say that it was the justices that, or you can't say that they're his justices because it's not their justice. He doesn't owe them, and they don't own him either. So that would be first. So we have number two. Number two is because it's up to the states to decide based on the will of their voters. And I'm getting warm. So this is a major cop out. It really is. Because here's the thing: when people bring that up of like, how are you gonna? Well, what's your thoughts about abortion? And you say, well, I'll leave it up to the states. Same question is coming back to you because it's like saying, do you approve of murder? And it's like, well, leave it up to the states. So murder good? Like, you're gonna have to answer the question. And this isn't a neutral question, and I feel like there's a lot of people, and this is why I say it's a moderate kind of stance. It's like people don't want to take a stance. It either is or it ain't. Like there is no, like it's either night or day, right? There is no. I can't even think like dawn. Like I know people can talk about like dawn and sunset, but the sun's coming, the moon's out, sun out, But anyways, so it's a major cop out because it doesn't even talk about the issue at all. It doesn't talk about if abortion wrong. It doesn't talk about anything to abortion really. It's just we'll leave it up to the states, and the states will figure it out. So the problem is with this take is that abortion is wrong regardless of state lines, because like I'm a human in Oklahoma. I'm a human in Texas. I'm a male human in, whatever 50 state you want to throw. You can throw in Puerto Rico. You can throw up, the moon, Uranus, Pluto, what have you. I'm still a human, still a dude. That's still a dog. So, and the one thing that went into my mind right after this was, so slavery was also brought up in this way. So the Mason-Dixon line was very much in my mind when I thought about this. I had to quickly do some backup or a refresher because I thought that was the thing. The Mason-Dixon line is only part of it. It was actually the Missouri Compromise. And the Missouri Compromise was when Missouri, because of the Louisiana Purchase, Missouri was going to become a state. However, that was going to destabilize the stability between the free and the slave states. And so what happened is Massachusetts broke off and gave Maine over, and then Missouri became a state, and that is where we get in the Missouri Compromise. And so it kept the even bounds. And then, of course, later we get into the the Mason-Dixon line became kind of the unofficial. So, so my main point with that is like, if you're going to say, well, it's a state's issue, then where is your stance on slavery? And you're probably going to say, well, it's wrong. You know why? Because if there is a black man, he is a human made in the image and likeness of God. Basically me, just darker and with different modifiers. Like it'd be the same thing if she was a Pomeranian. Those wouldn't be cut dead in my house. They might be both. If you understand. I also live in a weird part where people don't put their pets on, contain them. This is irresponsible. I'm sorry, Oklahomans, but like, that's just, come on, be better. So the next thing I have is that some states and constituents actually want a federal ban. Like, because let's be fair, we're not. Let's be fair. This is not, leave it up to the states. We'll let the states answer. So this is from the Center for Reproductive Rights. So this is a very left-leaning place, right? Because anyone who brings up reproductive rights is automatically some type of lib. So you can see Oklahoma in here. It's illegal. Hallelujah. And you also see Texas, Louisiana. You see a lot of the Bible Belt. And a lot of the Bible Belt is either hostile, which does have a definition, which I do have a picture of that, but you can go on the site. I'll probably have it linked in the description, along with the video I got from Joe Biden with codification and everything else I'm going to find. If you want to do more deep dives that I saw, if I didn't cover anything, you're going to say I'm an idiot. Well, read the stuff and you'll find out. So constituents that here, though, that's these states that you're seeing on the screen. These numbers, there are 13 illegals, 12 hostile. And for those of you who are small, I will tell you that is 25 states. 25 states. 25. Now, why do I keep saying 25, right? Because 25 seems very weird. Why do I keep saying 25? Because it's half the nation. Either it's not allowed anymore, like even 13's a lot, right? But like, we have like, that's like a fourth are saying no. And then we got another fourth that's basically like, yeah, let's not. Because like Florida's on it, but they have the Amendment 4. I think this is from 2022. So that's why I have another video coming up, which is kind of go through this more. Because I'll tell you, for an amendment to be passed, you need 3/4. We're pretty close. That's half, and 3 of them, I think it's I know Virginia, Connecticut, and I think it's New Mexico are not protected. So there's only 3, and then everyone else is either protected or expanded access. So, but we have half in like the really bad part, right? Or the good part, right? And the very hostile for abortion. When I meant bad for abortion. So I just thought that was, the Republicans are fleeing away. I thought it was like something, like, oh, it's only like 10 states or something. And then I see this map, I'm like, why are we walking away from it as Republicans? Oh, that's right. We're accepting moderates and people that are gay and other whores. Yeah, and by the way, I don't mean gay as in like, oh, look, that was gay. Like, I mean like real gay. I mean, I can't make that hand signature. But you get my drift. So, yeah, we come up to 3. I fully support the 3 exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. Okay, so 1, the rules or the exceptions don't make a rule. So I don't see why we still, like, a lot of people, if you ask the question of, okay, what if we did that? They'll still want abortion. So it's kind of a mute point. Anyone who brings it up, probably more than likely a Democrat. Anyone who brings it up is just looking for you, paints you as a villain. which is probably their only tactic. Let's be fair. Like I saw there was an ad they made with the Republican congressman that everyone keeps laughing about because he's just like, I'm your Republican congressman. I won the election, so it's my choice. Let's go into the room and tell her the good news, Dad. Um, I have to say the ad's kind of funny. I won't deny. I don't think it had the intended effect. But yeah, there was the Life of the Mother one. I watched that one and I was like, "Yee." But also I did my research. How long ago did I do this? I did it a while. Hold on, let me look at a file. So I probably did stuff. Let's see. Let me look at this one because this probably will tell me more. When did I do most of this? 17th. Oh, dang. Okay, so about 2 weeks ago, right? So I did most of this work, and so I know full well from like the ectopic pregnancy one. We'll get into that for the Life of the Mother, but like it really like the ad is a lie, but it's also like the one where it's like she needs abortion or she's gonna die. Yeah, usually I think it's the baby causes or the fetus causes something, so it's not necessarily kill the fetus and the problem goes away. It's more like the fetus did something to body and now body be ill. I don't know exactly because the ad's very just like, oh, she needs an abortion or she'll die. Okay, well, what is she suffering from? Like an ectopic pregnancy? Because we can talk about that. Because I've got stuff for that. Anyways, so we're gonna talk about the exceptions. Now I saw this map. Um, I forgot to make sure it was legit. Probably more than likely. I've heard this multiple times of that the exceptions are very limited. So that's 96% typically say that sorry, 96 typically say 96% say that it was elective for unspecific reasons, which more than likely is I just wanted to kill my baby to get rid of it because of reasons. So that's why I say rape, incest, and the Life of the Mother. Those are very rare, and in that rarity, it doesn't mean so we need an abortion for all uses, right? I also think if we have these exceptions, we're gonna have to. If we did put the exceptions in, you're also gonna have to then worry that people are gonna use the exceptions to do it for an elective. So you'd have to put some restraints in that because it's like you could say, "Oh, well, I got pregnant by or my father got me," when you know full well it's your boyfriend. And so if that be the case, I would say, "Well, we need to get you away from your father," but then it's like dad's, dead. Okay, sorry. I don't know why, but my screen just refreshed or the software just refreshed, and so I completely lost everything. I have no idea if the dad thing got in, but it was like immediately after I said that, just refreshed or it crashed. It could be because I'm using Brave. So, anyways, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, rape. So okay, so sorry, it's just I said it and I'm also looking at myself while I'm saying it, and it's just it's funny. Because it's just like, oh yeah, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, rape. It's like it's weird. It's weird to just that combination is weird. So for starters, because I have this in my notes because I know full well I'm prepping because based on the comment sections I've had from a few other videos where some people write some weird things. I like the one I had with IVF, I think there was some guy talking about like being chased while married, and it's like, yeah, I never talked like he brought up some like emotional appeals which weren't really like I didn't talk about that, but sure. And like, he kind of painted himself in a corner later because he was like, "So I guess this should have happened." And it's like, yes. So anyway, so for starts, I do not advocate for rape, nor believe in lessening the punishment for rapists. I hate people who take advantage of who take advantage of women. And I guess technically guys, I stopped myself, but yeah, all humans. No one should be experiencing that. Let's be fair. Or not even to be fair, no one should experience that, period. And I don't need applause for that. No one should really be applauded for that. It's just human. So, anyways, yeah, with rape, it doesn't really change the outcome from the the pregnancy. Like, it is still a new human life. The new DNA has been created. Um, it's a human life. It's not a parasite, as some people have said, because it is growing from within. It's not an outside thing coming in. And I'm trying to think of the other one. I forget, but my notes just say doesn't change the result of sex because it still produces a child, a fetus. Now, it happened in horrible circumstances. I won't deny that, but it doesn't change the fact that it's still a new life. Now, we also have when I was doing my somewhat research, we had I need to share my screen again because everything, ooh, not that. So everything crashed on me. So many women do actually regret their children. I've seen that seen it a few times on Twitter, here and there, that a few women say like, "I wish I could hold my child, but I had an abortion," and it's like, and I feel for them. Um, and it actually, the rape, it doesn't get erased purely because, well, okay, so the child got created, but it doesn't erase the fact that the woman was raped. A lot of people want to shove it under the rug, and considering I'm also Catholic and the sex scandal and whatever, I feel like it's kind of weird that people want to shove that under a rug. Because yeah, not exactly great things were happening. Let's be clear. So, yeah. Anyways, this is a bit from live action. You can actually see the full article later if you want, because they do go through each thing, and that's where I'm getting some of this stuff. Yeah, but some women do regret their abortion. Later, a lot of women, there has been some women who, going on the next one, they've had the kid and it actually made their lives better, or she's healed from said rape. And so that's why it's weird how humanity is, in that the solutions are a long term, or a long saved. I can't think of the word. The solutions be presented long term because that's what is needed later. Now, now we're getting into more. So there was incest. So again, in my notes, I have, for starts, I do not advocate for incest. So to define incest, and this I got from Wikipedia because I really didn't want to travel in any website, not because it's I don't know. Just no. I didn't do this in a private tab. I meant to do that. It's I don't want to accidentally go somewhere that I don't intend to, right? Like, I stayed in Wikipedia because, funny enough, Wikipedia was probably the safest. Which is the funniest thing. So, Wikipedia defined incest as sex between close relatives, for example, a brother or sister or cousins. This typically includes sexual activity between people in blood relations, and sometimes those related by lineage. So, I also come to find out that Rhode Island and New Jersey allow it. I kind of understand New Jersey, Rhode Island a little bit. New Jersey makes sense. Everyone makes fun of New Jersey. And now I have another reason to add to the fire. Honestly, I don't care. But everyone else rags on it. To be fair, though, I did talk to one guy who was from New Jersey, and I asked him because it was like he was the first New Jerseyan, and I was like, so I have a question. So New Jersey, you're from New Jersey, right? And he was like, yeah. And it's like, so there's the people talk about it, and they're like, it's a really crappy place. Like, is that? And before I even finish the question, he's already like, I thought that was so funny because it's just like I'm trying to be so cautious with it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, it's a horrible place." So, anyways, so here's where I'm going to start. Besides the genetic issues, because obviously there is a problem with having blood relative children. I think it's like something with their genetics where they have an extra. I don't know if it's an extra chromosome. I think it is. Because I think that's what Down syndrome has. So I and if that be the case, and if it is a child that is potentially going to have like Down syndrome or whatever, um, how does that differ from normal sexual or normal consensual sex? Because if let's say the woman was raped, well, by her father or something, well, then that's rape, and so that goes above, but we kind of already kind of whack that out. So now it's, well, it was consensual, so then it's like, so it's regular. So I don't know what the difference is. If there's a like important reason, I'd love to know. But I'm just thinking about that. I don't understand the difference. Like, should incest be happening? No, like I said at the beginning of starting this section, but still, you have to go, why is that sectioned out? Because like we don't, because the pro-life position is also Down syndrome people have dignity because they are made in the image and likeness of God still, because they are humans. So I don't understand that, and maybe I'm being very technical with this, but um I thought I'd ask, why am I glowing here and half here and there? Anyways, um where else were we? Oh, life-saving abortion. Yeah, that oxymoron, which I think is very funny. I wrote this in my notes and immediately wrote oxymoron. Because yeah, you have an abortion, but an abortion, oh, I do have the definition. Yay! I was future past Eli is being thanked. The abortion is defined from Webster, I think it is. The termination of a pregnancy followed by the death of the embryo or fetus. Now, I also came to find out that spontaneous abortion is called a miscarriage. I also know in the medical field that they just label it that because, like, excuse me, clinically or whatever, it's listed as that. However, like insurance and what things. Uh, but if you don't understand the difference between an abortion and a miscarriage, the abortion is the intentional killing of the child. A miscarriage is nature pulling the plug itself without your input, right? It's just, it happened, right? It's kind of like the rain, it just happens. If you suddenly control the weather, well, that's a different story. Then the rain isn't, rain, it's a water storm. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, that would work. Anyways, so abortion has the main man intention of death. So going back to my shared screen quickly. So there was a former abortionist doc, and we're talking about the life of the mother. So this article goes through some good stuff, but the doctors can actually do other things than just perform the abortion because um, they can save both mother and child. Sometimes that means inducing labor, which, if the child outside the womb dies, well, that's, it just wasn't, I wouldn't say viable because viability is kind of murky because, like humans are like what we can suffer and survive is kind of up to debate. There's been countless of he shouldn't be walking, right? And then he does. So, but they can induce the labor and bring the child out, and that could save the mother. However, it could kill the child, but it's not the intentional of killing the child. The child may still be the child might be dead at the end, but the way he died is also very important. So yeah, and then there's ectopic pregnancies with the removal of the fallopian tubes. And I also think it is interesting. So, hence with the ad I mentioned earlier, with the she needs an abortion or she's going to die. It's more than likely it was an ectopic pregnancy, I would imagine, and she was in a lot of pain. Well, then they're going to have to remove the fallopian tube, which would take out the kid as well, but not killing the child. And I don't know too much about a woman, but I'm pretty sure you just need. I would say you would just need one tube to keep producing life. Uh, but that is a different question. Yeah, she sighs. Oh yeah, and my last kind of point for this section is many mothers have given their lives for their child. I've seen a few stories that the woman has had cancer, but then she's forgoed chemo so her child can be born. Which hats off to those mothers. Those are I'd classify them near saint status. I don't know the churches later, but I would say that they have a great love. And so, maybe God would reward them for that love. And sacrifice, mind you, which is kind of the deal of a parent's life, to be fair. Even as a bachelor, I kind of can see that, right? Like I've seen it with my sis. So, we're done. We're on number 4. Congrats. You're at 31. And technically we had a little bit of a snafu earlier. So you probably clicked the forward a little bit more. I need my image back. Like I said, everything crapped out on me. So we got number 4. I do not support the Democrats' radical position of late-term abortion. So that is true. That is a good thing. That's a good thing. So yeah, because they firmly do. He's not wrong. So we're gonna start with a video which I need to plop up again, mainly because again everything refreshed. So ooh, not the one I want. Thank you. So we're gonna start with this video. So this was from the from the first presidential debate, if that makes any sense, because technically it was Trump's second debate, because Biden was in the first one, and then Kamala comes into play, and then of course he doesn't do any more after that, which kind of understandably because they immediately, Joe might be dead after the election. If she wins, I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Biden suddenly collapses, and that be the end. And then she takes over now. So there's no inauguration. She just becomes president from Biden, and then it just continues. If that happens, I am so sorry. I'm suffering with y'all. So anyway, so we're going to talk about this debate question because she gives a really horrible answer to this.
Would you support any restrictions on a woman's right to an abortion?
Is a yes or no question, give or take, right? You should start theoretically. I understand, like, it's a debate, but theoretically you should be answering the question kind of more up front. I'd here listen if you see an answer, because I'm not hearing one. I'm hearing a far different tactic being used besides answering the question.
I absolutely support reinstating the protections of Roe v. Wade, and as you rightly mentioned, nowhere in America is a woman carrying a pregnancy to term and asking for an abortion.
That's false. I literally saw, I think, the tweet from the woman that said, like, I like being pregnant, and then I'm like all motherly, and then I kill the child, and I do this repeatedly. It's weird. It's not weird. It's disgusting. Sorry, upgrade.
That is not happening. It's insulting to the women of America.
You should ask, will she allow abortion in the 8th month, 9th month, 7th month?
Come on.
Okay, would you do that?
She's not answering.
Why don't you ask her that question?
Why don't you answer
That's
the
problem.
question? Would you
because
veto?
Under Roe v.
Answer
Wade,
the question,
you
would you
could
veto?
you could do abortions in the 7th month, the 8th month, the 9th
That's
month,
not true.
and probably after birth. Just look at the former governor of.
Okay, so he was talking about a former governor. Guess where we're going now? So, former governor Ralph Northam.
If a mother is in labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen. The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired. And then a discussion would ensue between the physicians and the mother. So I think this was really blown out of
proportion, my ass. So, yeah. Basically, the child is alive, theoretically now a U.S. citizen, but still dies because he came out earlier. So now we're also going to have to talk, we're going to talk about the Democrats. We're going to also talk about, Planned Parenthood, not the DNC itself, but the Planned Parenthood went to the DNC to give abortions and vasectomies. They didn't go to the RNC. Why? Because only the Democrats are really concerned with this issue. The Republicans are either going to, I don't think they would blow it up, but more or less use that feeling. They would not go that far, but use the. But it's a good frame of where they would think. But no physical violence would probably have happened if they did. This is not what I want. So we also have this is the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act. So this is where if a baby is born. It's at the first one. Establishes requirements for the degree of care a healthcare practitioner must exercise in the event of a child is born alive following an abortion or attempted abortion. Meaning, with Northam, the baby should have been taken care of. There is no, discussion would ensue and figure out whether or not we want to kill the child. That's basically what he said. So, now here's the issue. This bill, because this was on the Senate site, Senate, right? Yes, Senate. So this was on the Senate site they had. Sorry. The Senate had the Born Alive bill. There are 50 Republican sponsors. Now, here's the issue. There are 50 Republican sponsors. Where the hell are the Democrats? Because when this was voted on, I think this was voted on, no Democrats voted for this. This seems like a pretty. Most people would agree. I thought I saw numbers. It was 2/3 of people are against abortion in the 3rd trimester, which I think is funny because that means 2/3 of people disagree with abortion. Because if you actually understand that it's a human life, then it's a human life post, pre, later. The line's tricky. It's later of the past, whatever word I need to say. So they had another one though. I think there was a House bill. Hold on. Oh, this might have been the same one. No, different House bill. So there are 190 or 190 Republicans. I think this one was an older bill. This one was a different section. So I don't know if this is just because it's the House, but yeah, the bill was the Born Alive bill. 190 Republicans, 3 Democrats. 3. There's give or take 100 or more of those, right? This is 3%, which if I told you have 3% of live in this gunshot, you would probably say, don't pull the trigger. Just pointing out that if you walked into a casino with those ads, or those odds, you would not be walking out a rich man. So, this is a different one. This is the stuff for later. So, anyway, so that is basically it. Those were the definitions earlier for the other thing. That's for the other video that I'm planning, the one I need to do after the election. It's going to take me a while because I have to create a presentation for it. But and I do mean presentation. Public school ruined me in this way. So the Democrats, the other point I have is the Democrats claim to be the party of women, which is funny because when they are asking for abortions, and especially like the at-home abortions, which is like the mifepristone and progesterone, maybe that might be the aid one. There's 2 pills. Let's put it that way. There's 2 pills that you have to take. One I think it reduces the lining within the uterus, and then the other one cleanses everything. Weirdly enough, I think it was my memory is kind of failing me because I don't have much on this, but I thought it was about like 70% of women experience some form of complication from that. And one of the main causes is like excessive bleeding. Like there was the woman who got sepsis because I think she took the at home and the doctors failed to provide any care because they were like, well, we can't do an abortion, which, again, there were avenues, but they just were like, not my issue. So, she probably got sepsis from taking the abortion pill. So the abortion pill did kill her. So anyways, you want to add anything, Maggie? No, Maggie's tired. She wants to go to bed. So do I. So anyways, I think that's it, really. Kind of went through everything that Trump had. We went through how a federal abortion ban, people do actually want that. Mr. President Trump, maybe future President Trump, or this video should be posted probably Monday. So yeah, future President Trump, former President Trump. That's weird. The states issue, we figured that out, that it's like, well, just because the states, and then of course that kind of bolsters the federal, because it's like, well, the states are already doing it. Why not? We do it everywhere. It's kind of like murder. Murder is not exactly a states issue. It's more of a humanity issue. 3 exceptions, we went through how those are just dumb entirely. And then of course, how those don't apply for the rules. And then the Democrats that basically want to kill babies. And I'm not being joking on that. It's literally, they would kill them. Yeah, because I can't tell you, or unless you're on Twitter. If you're on Twitter as much as me, I keep seeing Democrat guys always being like, I voted for Kamala for the women. I saw one guy, if you follow me on Twitter, it was kind of funny. I saw one guy on Twitter who was like, I voted for Kamala to protect my daughter's freedoms, to kill my grandchild. And everyone's lighting him up for that. I lit him up because the fact that he had the vocab of a high schooler who said just, you're effing dumb. Great. Can you come up with something original? Or like, I'm sorry, I'm a bit creative. So could you come up with something a bit more creative than just, well, you're effing dumb? Ouch. Like, what am I supposed to do with it? Like, for crying out loud, I got a comment on one of my videos and it just said garbage. I have no idea if that was about me, the video, or the content. It just said garbage, so it was open to interpretation. I assume it was me, but it's like okay. So I mix in line with Puerto Rico now. Anyways, so I didn't think this video was long. Dang. Okay, sorry. I know it's 40 minutes, but to be fair, I'm having to rewatch this to ensure everything's kosher. So, anyways, so yeah, that's it. There's some new merch out on the shop, Verified Theo Bro, and that does have a story kind of behind it. Probably one I won't ever say. And then Pope Francis's word of the day. And I can't say the word, 1, because it's Italian, and 2, because I'm afraid YouTube would flag it. Anyways, it's funny, I won't deny. So, I think that's about it. I'm having more videos coming out since I got the restream working okay now. I'm sorry, I have not been doing as much gaming as I should. Hopefully Restream will help me. OBS, though, broke out. I got Restream great, and then OBS died on me. So So, more technical issues. Don't we just love technical issues? So, anyways, I think that's it. Yep. Sub, like, watch the video. There should be some shorts. Send them to your friends. And get the word out. I'm going to be, I'm hoping to get this locked and loaded. So whenever I run again, because I'm wearing my old. I'm actually wearing my old hoodie. I wouldn't say old, more like last winter, but this hood I wore for a while because I thought I'd be doing it, and I will next year. So it's gonna be interesting. Excuse me. So it's gonna be an interesting life because I have something maybe else in the works more than just this. So, anyways, Maggie, you want to say anything? Maggie, she's asleep. So, anyways, I'm probably going to be following her there. Well, technically, she's following me because she sleeps in my bed. But goodbye, good night, whatever I need to say right now. Oh, the ending. I forgot. I came up with it finally. Work on making better people. Thus, a better world is made.